Hello everyone, welcome to the reading. This reading will be about Glorilla and Victoria Woods. It's funny because I had to look at my notes because I don't even know any of their names, but I know that this is kind of like a subject that's on the news and whatnot. So let me just see the vibe. I'm going to be asking the interesting questions and all that. But before I start asking questions, let me just see what's the energy between them. What can we see? What's the energy between this Glorilla and Victoria Woods? What can I see? All right, so there's some distance there with this nothingness or no thingness. Same shit, nothingness. What else can we see? All right, so it's a lack of communication. That's what I'm seeing. What else can we see? Aloneness. Okay, so what's being shown to me is that there is a distance between these two ladies, right? And it's legit. It's serious for sure, you know? What else can we see? Abundance, spiritual slot. What else can we see? The greater. All right. So someone has power here and someone has abundance, but they feel like they have to be, rather they're being conditioned. So what I'm seeing here is that these two do not have a relationship at all, right? It's empty. There's nothing going on. Also, again, more distance, right? Like the hermit mode energy. The abundance in the spiritual slot. What can we see about that? What's going on with this abundance? All right. Okay. So, who's the one with the abundance in this situation, right? It's Glorilla. She feels trapped. She's like, this sort of lifestyle, this sort of experience, the money, the abundance, it's causing me pain. It's causing me discomfort. 1 second, guys. Let me get, I have some, 1 second. I need to be hydrated. I'm sorry. I should have done this. I thought I had everything in order before I start, but sometimes things happen. So sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, because I'm just I know I'd be dehydrated sometimes when I'm talking so much and doing these readings. And, I have to either have water or my orange high C, anything, Because it's kind of just when you're talking so much and you're just chilling and sitting, being hydrated is important. So sorry if this kind of disturbs the flow a bit, but we're good. So she's kind of just now I can do what I need to do, right? So she's kind of just yo, this experience, this celebrity lifestyle, it's coming with problems. We know that the Eight of Swords is feeling trapped. She's in her mind about her abundance. What else can we see? The Page of Wands. I don't know why it's telling me new boots, trying to enter into new boots, but almost feeling guilty about it. Not just that, but having to cleanse old things from the past. Now, this is relevant, right? Because, when you're on your journey, basically, let's say if you're someone that don't come from abundance or don't come from opportunity or opportunities or anything like that, and you're trying to build yourself up, sometimes the old needs to be cleaned out of your life. You see how this guy here is sweeping things away while he's looking at his abundance? Old things, you kind of have to depart with old things sometimes, especially when it comes to people, if it's a person that's bringing you down. So it's kind of just she's in this interesting season where, boots are really relevant, especially when we talk about, fortune, the change of fortune and stuff like that. It's something about getting rid of old boots, coming into the new. Now, if you have, let's be real now, right? Let's say if you have a pair of old boots that you love, and it's kind of just like, you know, things are changing in your life. You don't have to get rid of them, right? But let's just say if it's a pair of old boots you had forever that makes you feel miserable when you look at it, it, you know, brings back memories of bad things in your life, then definitely get rid of it. I would even say don't even try to give that shit to anyone. You know, like everyone wants to sometimes give their junk to the less fortunate. They think that they're doing something by giving, like, you know, clothes with holes or busted ass boots. They feel like, you know, they're going to give it to charity and that means that they're doing something. No, throw that bad luck shit away. Don't give that bad luck shit to people. You know what I mean? That's bad energy. If you want to get rid of the energy, don't try to give it to someone else. It's the same thing like when certain women that grow their hair really long, like they might be really depressed, really miserable, and then they chop it off and then they donate it to like wig people. You know, it's a whole thing with things that are old that, you know, sometimes you just need to throw it in the trash can, right? So what I'm seeing here is that abundance want to enter into her life, but she needs to clean the old. That involves people as well. Seven of Swords, someone being I was going to say trickery, someone into trickery, but someone that's being shady, right? A trickster. And I'm not even talking about like a funny trickster, like spraying the liquid ass spray. You know what I mean? Like around your friends and acting like you didn't do it. Like shit like that is hilarious. I've done that before. And it's like the most funniest shit. Especially like when no one doesn't know what it is. And you're like, oh my God, what's that smell? And for like 40 minutes, you keep spraying it. People are like about to throw up and shit. That shit is funny. It's like a good $7-8 well spent, right? But what I'm seeing here is that this isn't a good trickster. This is someone that's being strategic, someone that's trying to cause problems, someone that's trying to stop her growth. So what I'm seeing here is that a woman that was upset, right? The sister, Victoria, is upset because there wasn't any interaction, right? Now I'm going to see if they had a good relationship in the past, right? Because, you know, yeah, it's all great to like move on up, but let's just say if you had a good relationship with someone and then, you know, like, you know, you have like good things coming to you and then you just like abandon the person, then I can understand that person kind of feeling a type of way. The truth is though, like even if that was to happen, if someone you know is doing better than you, whether it be family or a stranger or whatever, you kind of just have to mind your business then and you see that person for what they are and you move on. You know, it's not really good. It's not even in your interest to try to be shady. That's a story for another time. But what I'm seeing here is that, yeah, like, you know, someone's mad about her abundance, trying to cause problems and shit, trying to have her in her head. I'm seeing that she's starting to regret this Hollywood shit, which is kind of stupid because sometimes people, they don't think right, you know. It's kind of just like you can have a bad experience and it's kind of like, oh, I'm going to throw it all away. It's not worth it, you know. So what I'm seeing here is someone that's really temperamental. So this Glorilla, she's really temperamental, you know. Because this would be bullshit. I would laugh and be like, which the fuck's wrong with you? What can we see about this creator? What can we see? What's going on with this creator? Okay, so good things that's going to happen regardless. So Glorilla doesn't even have to trip. The creator knows what it is. So what I'm seeing here is her destiny is her destiny. So if good things are supposed to happen, good things will happen, despite whoever's trying to bring you down. You know, the 10 of Pentacles is something promised to you, right? It's almost like the ultimate reward of Saturn when something is promised to you, right? Like if you're going to get it. Some birth charts show where certain things are promised to someone, right? It's kind of just like different places in the chart, you know what I mean? I would have to see the chart, but let's just say, like, you know, if a marriage is promised, let's say if money is promised, let's say if a big home is promised, sometimes, or not actually sometimes, in charts you can actually see where things is like promised to you. Now I'm not going to be looking up any of these celebrities' charts. I don't care for that. That's too much work, right? I'm just here to do the tarot. But what I'm seeing here is that this abundance is promised to her and no one's gonna like stop her. So she needs to get out this energy. She's a lion, you know, stop trying to be, or stop being conditioned by people that's not doing so well, you know, trying to condition you. Now I'm curious, right? Who's at fault here? So the first energy I'm gonna like pull, it doesn't even matter how many cards come out. I'm just gonna see like who's at fault here. The first one's gonna be Glorilla and then the next one's gonna be for her sister. Okay. So let's see. So that's Glorilla, and this one's going to be for her sister. And then I'm going to compare and contrast what's going on. Also, let me just say thank you to everyone that's been having readings with me. I definitely appreciate it. And the ones that have readings with me know that this is actually my method sometimes, like to compare and to contrast when it comes to like certain things that might be asked. So what I'm seeing here, right, with Glorilla's energy, we have positive energy. Again, something to do with things being promised, abundance being promised, right? So I'm seeing that she's on the right path. She's on her path to success. This is abundance, right? This is when you're meeting sort of just like fortune at the gate. Let's put it that way. She's meeting positive abundance and good fortune at the gate, right? Now let's see what the next card is. Look, the ladder to success. So she's in her path of abundance, right? You know, these two people here can symbolize a marriage, right? A contract. Again, this abundance was promised to her, right? The stairway to success. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing here. So I asked, like, who's in the wrong here, right? And so what I'm seeing is Glorilla is doing her thing. And I'm seeing that they didn't even have a relationship like that anyway. Now, when I look at the sister, the linear thinking, this 32 energy is not always a good energy, right? You know, I know people say things about Saturn. I don't know why Saturn's like the theme recently, but it's just the theme, guys. So bear with me. I know in my readings I've been talking a lot about Saturn, but it just is what it is. You know, like 27, I know they try to say like your Saturn return come around like 29, you know, sometimes 28. But really like from 27, you can start feeling like the themes of your Saturn return, right? So I'm 34, so I'm just getting out of my Saturn return. And there's still things to come with Saturn, right? Because like the energy really doesn't mature until like 35, 36. And then there's even like more to it than that, even past 35, 36, right? So let's just be real. That's why people hate that energy, because it's a long energy, right? When you think you're done with it, you're still dealing with things, right? Now, I'll say this to say, now 32, right? 32, 33 is when they say that you're out of your Saturn return. I know some people say 31, right? Now, 32 is an interesting energy because it's almost like an awkward energy, right? It's an awkward energy because you're still being settled. You're not settled. 32 is the energy of not being settled. Not just that, what I've noticed, even with clients and people, that's around like 32, it's about you trying to settle yourself in, right? Let's say if you even have a job, right, and you're settled in your job, that's cool, but you're still working things out. You're still trying to process things. You're still like either working out your emotions, or if, you know, you're in a marriage, working out your marriage, or if you have children, working out things with your children. 32 is an energy of working things out. So what I'm seeing here is that the sister's thinking small. She's not thinking too big, right? And I'm not trying to be a bad person here, but what I'm seeing here is that the sister has a small brain, a small mind. You know, she only sees things linearly, right? So what I'm seeing here is Glorilla on a path to success, while the sister has a small brain. And you know what they say, sometimes when people are kind of stupid, they're reckless and they fuck up things for everyone. But she ain't going to be fucking things up for Glorilla, because Glorilla is going to be fine. But what I'm seeing here is that the sister just have a small brain. She's in an awkward stage of her life with this 32. And no, I'm not saying that she's 32, because sometimes when people hear me talk about things in the reading, you know, they'd be like, oh, but, you know, she's not 32. I never said she was 32, guys. You got to follow me. Not to be condescending, but sometimes it just be tedious, always explaining things, right? Like, yeah. But anyway, 32, again, it's an awkward number. So this is an awkward vibe for her. She's in an awkward time, the sister. Now, I want to ask Glorilla's relationship with her mother. Now, let's look into that. So again, Glorilla and the mother. Let's see what Glorilla's energy first. Okay, so that's Glorilla. And let's see the mom's energy. So the mom's not doing too well. Let me just say that. The mom is not doing too well. The mom had a lot of misfortune in her life is what I'm seeing. You see this demon guy trying to attack the mom? So the mom was in a vulnerable situation and still is, and she has been in her life. Unfortunately, sometimes people don't always have the best destiny, you know? So what I'm seeing here is that the mom is definitely going through things. And again, the Eight of Swords energy. So what I'm seeing here is that the mom, she's trying to process pain. The mom is still working through a lot of stuff, right? Now there's more to it, but I just don't want to be too heavy on that because it is a little bit more on the darker side. Let's see what Glorilla's hidden emotion is regarding this situation. Money. So what I'm seeing here is someone that's only concerned about the money, right? And she's like a man too about it. This is the King of Pentacles. So she's not even a Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles can be more nurturing, right? Care about a nurturing environment, right? Sharing, stuff like that. What I'm seeing here is someone that's a bit, I don't want to say ruthless, but it's almost like ruthless. Someone that's not really compassionate. So her mom is going through shit, but she's kind of just like, yo, I'm living my time, like my moment. And she's like, you know, it's just about the money. So what I'm seeing here is that her mom's going through things, but Glorilla really isn't paying attention. You know, she's not paying attention to like the nuance regarding like, you know, emotions and feelings and stuff like that. She's more into the money. Let me ask, does she love her mother? That's Glorilla. All right, so there's some trauma. I believe this is, I never used to pronounce it, but I believe this is schizophrenia. You know, I don't know how to say that word. But what I'm seeing here is that this is trauma. This is trauma. It's a distance between her and her mother. Not just that, it's kind of just like Glorilla isn't really seeing things too clearly as well. I don't want to be, again, messed up or anything by saying anything bad, but I have to keep it real with you guys. Glorilla has a small brain as well, a small mind. I'm seeing someone that doesn't know how to process like deeper things, like emotional intelligence. You know, just sometimes, you know, it's a lack of intellect to me, right? Because intellect is more than just knowledge. It involves understanding like emotional intelligence, right? Some people think they're shrewd or smart, but they're missing that part of life, right? Or like even just like interacting with people, they don't really understand shit. So what I'm seeing here is that her mom is going through things, but there's been trauma. There's been trauma, and schizophrenia is when you sometimes you're either seeing things that's actually there, or sometimes you're not seeing things for what it is. So what I'm seeing here is that she has a problem seeing things for what it is, right? So let's just say sorry, I don't know why my deck's be dark. We have like all sorts of marks and bullshit on it. But anyway, let's say if she, I threw myself off. Let's say like if something happened, right? I gotta get it. Because I don't talk out of my ass, guys. I'd be like in my vibe. So let me get back into my vibe. Getting that drink kind of like threw me off. Because I was just like, damn, I like to have everything near me, right? Give me 1 second. So it's kind of just like, what I'm seeing here is that there's been trauma in the past between these people. Not just that, not seeing things for what it is, right? So it's kind of just like, let's just say, because this woman's brain is small, this lady's a bird brain. So let's say if she gives the mom $400 or $500, right? She's the type to be like, well, I gave you $400 or $500. Like, what more do you want from me? Meanwhile, anyone knows what common sense kind of just like, okay, like $400 or $500, like, okay, that's great. Like, that's cool. Like, thanks for the charity. But, you know, in a real world aspect, that's not going to pay no damn bills, right? That's not going to, like, get you a car. That's not going to maintain you, right? And I'm not saying she gave anything that little. I'm just saying, like, even if she gave her mom $20,000, it's kind of like, okay, that's cool. Like, you know, a lot of new cars is more than that these days, right? Right? So it's kind of, yeah, that's not involving the maintenance, right? So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. We got to be real. In life, we have our positions as siblings or as siblings, or what do you call it? Children, or as parents, right? And the truth is that parents need to be generous with their children, right? It just is what it is. I know some people don't like that. Some people are very ignorant and stupid, and this is why generational curses happen, right? You see people that put a strong focus on uplifting their children, they're doing good, like as a collective. If you look at the Jews, I love their culture. They have a very good culture, like a good traditional, strong culture where it's about, progressing the family, right? Where it's about helping your children, right? And then the children help their parents. In life, that's all you really have is your family, like your immediate family, if you're married, your wife or husband and your children, and then you have your parents, and stuff like that. Like, that's good. Like, that's something that needs to be admired. We're coming into a society or a place where people are just becoming bastards and ignorant. For me, a bastard isn't just being born out of wedlock. Being a bastard is like all this dysfunctional bullshit. It's not good to be a bastard, and we don't need to uplift that sort of behavior. Now, I say all this because it's kind of just like, even if you look at like Indians, as a collective, the country is kind of going through things, with poverty, but you see, as far as like the mothers and the fathers that really push their children to success, they do really well, and then their children take care of their parents. That's what it means to be human. Without these ties, what do you have? Now, if your parents are trash and they abuse you, then you gotta dump them. It is what it is, right? Same if you have children that's trash and only trying to hurt you, you gotta dump them, right? But we just need to do better as a people. I ain't going to put a name on it. You guys, what it is, right? So it's kind of just like, I'm seeing trauma here. I'm seeing Glorilla as a bird brain. I'm seeing that, whatever she gave, she felt like it was enough, right? Not just that, she's lacking emotional intelligence. Not just that, the mom has misfortune. Now, let me ask, how does the mom feel about the two sisters falling out? What can we see about that? All right, foundational energy. Okay. I mean, these people are kind of crazy. Right? Because the mom just cares about the money too. So remember how I was saying that Glorilla just care about the money? The mom is the same way too. Not just that, the mom is waiting for an opportunity. So it's kind of just like the mom is in the corner while there's a dispute happening, right? And she's just like, where's the money? So, I mean, this is really unfortunate, right? Not just that. This is bad luck here. Bad luck, right? And again, I don't want to be bad or condescending, because I know that this isn't nice to say. But how else am I supposed to explain it to you guys, right? I'm not going to be licking and kissing anyone's ass to explain shit for what it is, right? Sometimes people want like the most extra shit, and it's kind of just like, that's too much for me. Okay, so it's kind of just like, this is an energy of oppression. The Seven of Wands represent an uphill battle. Not just that, it can represent like stagnant, oppressive energies, right? And, here goes something esoteric for you guys. When people are always arguing all the time, when there's cheating in a marriage, when it's abuse of children or child, when parents are abusing their children or their children and shit and other people, and when parents are allowing their children to fight and they act like it's not a big deal, because it's like, there's some parents that's like that, where it's like, okay, you guys can fight, but it has nothing to do with me, which is stupid and ignorant too. It creates an energy of apparitions coming into your home, coming into your environment, right? Then it's starting those apparitions like almost put a curse on your family because it's negative energy, right? Some people think that this type of dysfunction is okay, but what they don't know is that this dysfunction creates food for particular entities, right? You know how humans have to have food? What do you think negative entities like to eat, right? They like to see women crying. They like to see men crying as well, but since we're talking about women, that's why I said women. They like to see people crying. They like to see people hurting. They like to see people going through it, right? And that's food to them. They're attracted to it. You know how flies are attracted to shit? These apparitions are attracted to negativity. So what I'm seeing here is that negativity coming into the home, coming into the family, because the mom only cares about the money. Not just that, this is why the mom is a bird brain too, right? Because the Six of Cups represent like good memories and shit, right? How is the mom forming good memories when all this dysfunction is going on? Like, it's inconceivable, right? Unless you just don't care about, you know, what makes sense. Because sometimes people aren't evil. Sometimes they're just stupid and ignorant. And what I'm seeing here is a strong energy where even like the vibe, it keeps telling me ignorant, ignorant, ignorant. That these people are all around ignorant. And it's unfortunate. Let's get this last card here. Yeah, what was I saying? Just only caring about the money. This is an interesting Seven of Pentacles. Because it's kind of just like, again, what was I saying? Only caring about the money while there's things going around. So you see how this explain it for you guys? I love when the cards do that so people can see for themselves. This is interesting. So this woman is chasing money. I know that this is a man in this image, but whatever. This woman is chasing money. She's dealing with the negativity in her life. Meanwhile, someone's injured and someone's hurt. And it's like she doesn't care. She only cares that, oh, I'm sick. I don't feel well. Like, you know, I'm not doing so well. Not just that, where's the money at? Not just that, oh, it's only negativity in my life. You cannot be selfish when you're a parent, guys. You cannot be selfish. As an intuitive and stuff, you know, I've seen so many things, right? I've seen like so many families, so many situations, right? This type of energy is nothing new. We all know about it. We're aware of these energies, right? We've seen it before in our life. And the truth is that it creates just a vibe of negativity. I know I keep saying negativity, but it just is what it is. Like, right, the mom, she's not in her position of being a mother, of sorting things out. So it's kind of like a dereliction of, like, purpose. If you really want to be real, fuck duty. It's a dereliction of purpose because her purpose is to be a mother, right? She has to uplift and raise her children and teach them what's right. What I'm seeing here is dysfunctional people that have small brains that don't really come from anything. And let's just say, right, they could have had money before this, right? I don't know, right? But that don't mean you come from something. That's the funny thing, right? Like if you follow like people like a Moneybag Yo or all these different people, like they got money, but it don't mean that like, you know, the children that's coming from them came from anything, right? It just means that it's a bastard with money creating more bastards, right? So it's kind of just like coming from something means coming from a family, coming from a home. And if you don't come from a home, it's unfortunate, right? But the good thing is you can create your own home, right? If you don't come from a home, you can create your own home. You don't have to be stuck because some people get stuck like, oh, well, I don't come from a family, right? So like, you know, I guess life isn't worth living. No, you can create your own shit, right? If you have a cat, then that cat's part of your family. If you have a dog, that dog's part of your family. If you have a kid out of wedlock, that kid is your family. And then you can create the family that you want. Life is beautiful that way, right? But what I'm seeing here is that people that don't come from shit, that's just dysfunctional all around. Now then, to complete this, what advice do the universe have for Glorilla? All right, change is coming. So she needs to understand that change is coming. And we're going to get that face down card. That's going to be affecting her emotions and all that. The creator. Okay. Rebirth. Okay, so this change and this rebirth is a big deal. Her inner voice, you know, and let's just be real, right? Because some people feel like, oh, because, again, I never said she was evil, right? So let's just put that out there, right? Because evil people, they be blessed with opportunity and abundance. And the same thing goes for a slow person, right? What I'm seeing here is that someone that's following their inner voice, someone that's following her instinct. Maybe she's not really fucking with these people because her instincts is saying these people are dysfunctional. Get away. You know, you're on your purpose and shit and live your life. It is what it is. Because I didn't get into it too deeply, but that schizophrenia was showing me that there was trauma from the past. You know, sometimes schizophrenia, despite what they say, could come from severe abuse, right? Severe trauma, where it kind of almost created a glitch in your mind, right? Being exposed to bad things. So what I'm seeing here is that the mom's not innocent. If the mom wasn't, like living in her purpose, like before Glorilla basically was like, famous and shit, like what does that tell you? Rather, let me rephrase that. Sorry. If Glorilla mom isn't living in her purpose now with managing her daughters, imagine what was going on when these women were young, right? And again, I'm not really getting that anyone's evil here. I'm just getting that people are just stupid. All that being said, change is going to happen and rebirth. We got 2 10s here, right? This is her destiny. Good things is coming from her. She was coming from a situation of darkness, dirt, dysfunction, and she's being reborn. Hopefully she's reborn with a mind, a brain, right? Where she can tie things together. But hey, if she got this far, then I guess she's doing well, right? With the brain she has. Sorry, guys. I have like issues and stuff. I'm not going to even get into it. Because I'm not going to even get into it. It's the reason why I say the things that I say. Because I see certain things and I know I just try to just shut the fuck up and just not even get into it because it's funny. Because I be seeing things, but I know that everyone's not going to understand. So let me just shut up. But what I'm seeing here, the source in the spiritual ethers, the divine got her. She's going to be well. She's going to do well. She just needs to keep listening to her inner voice, which she's doing in the current. Because again, this is the past. This is the present. This is your mind. This is your heart. This is the spiritual slot. Not just that. This is the future. So what I'm seeing here is that she's doing what she's doing. She's in her purpose. So that's great for her. What do you guys think about this? Was this a good reading? Was it deep? Hopefully it was. Take care, guys.